And a bunch of people have weighed in. A bunch of people, and the vast majority of the viewers that have watched that show at least seem to agree with Chris. Like, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. He was being truthful. He was being truthful, right? So what happened after that, Chris made a lot of headlines, and then he went on the Dan Patrick show, right? He went on the Dan Patrick show, and essentially what he was doing was discussing what took place early in the day with him on ESPN First Take. And just when you thought Chris would have probably said to himself, you know what, maybe I went too far, maybe I shouldn't have said that, maybe some people were trying to get on him. Instead, what he did was double down on his explosive comments on ESPN, where he was essentially saying, no, I think it was totally manufactured, it's not a big deal, and we shouldn't treat it as such. And I was like, wow, Chris is really stating it like it is. But before we even get into his comments, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks makes it easy to get real money action on sports and players you love. Pick more or less on 2 or more players in any sport to win up to 100 times your entry fee. For example, here's a possible winning player projection lineup. Tyreek Hill for more than 90 receiving yards and Dak Prescott for more than 263 passing yards. Josh Allen for less than 240 passing yards and CB Lamb for more than 96 receiving yards. And if you're like me and you want to play safe, you will love the new features Prize Picks invented. Flex Plays. Flex Pays are the safest way to play Prize Picks. You can still make a profit or win some money back even if a couple of your picks don't hit. On top of this, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now, I want to play exactly what Chris Mad Dog Russo had to say on the Dan Patrick show, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to that there.
I didn't see this, but I read it where you kind of dismiss the brawny LeBron James concocted script.
Yeah, I can't stand it. What a waste of time that is. Yes, I think that's so stupid. That is so, Dan, that is so artificial. That is so, I mean, come on. He had 1 rebound in 3 minutes. He's going to be in the G League in about a week. You know, listen, LeBron is a wonderful player, and I understand that Lakers are trying to make sure that he is motivated and he's galvanized and it meant something to him. So I understand that. But I walk around town all the time. I did not have one person tell me, wow, did you see that Bronny play with LeBron last night? The American sports fan could care less. Let's be fair. And don't compare it to Griffey. I looked it up. When Ken Griffey played with his son with Seattle, you know, he hit 306 that year. And 1 year, and then another year, he had a 380 batting average. Griffey could still hit when he was 41 years of age. Bronny's not an NBA player right now. The Lakers did this to pacify LeBron, which I understand. He's the second greatest player of all time. It meant something to him. Okay, but don't try to convince the American sports fan that this is a big deal that LeBron played with his kid and it's the first ever, because I think it's fake. That's my take. I know a lot of people disagree. That's my take.
Okay. Your son's just starting out in the business. He doesn't warrant being on a big stage, but let's say you say to management, I'd like to do a race.
I live in Michigan. I'm a 2-time Trump voter, and I'm not voting for him again this year. Trump is stating that he is running for America. Trump is not running for America. He is running so that he can pardon himself, so that he can exercise immunity, so that he can rub shoulders with dictators around the world. I will never vote for Trump again.
Dominate the Rift with Opera GX. Install any official LoL esports mod from GX Store to unlock bonus content and features. Browse the collection and choose a mod. Open GX Corner and scroll to the Riot section with a brand new co-streaming hub. Set your language and choose a stream. Only on the browser for gamers. Only on Opera GX.
Do a radio show with my son on Sirius XM.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I understand what your point is. I wouldn't say that because these jobs are very difficult to get, and I think that advantage for him would be unfair. So I would not tell bosses, hey, do me a favor, make sure Colin Russo gets on Sirius and does a once-a-week show with me. I swear to God, you can tell anybody down in West Palm, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
And I'll say this right now. I won't say that because that will get me in trouble.
Your wife's out of town. You can't get in trouble.
I'll say it. Colin, on a radio perspective, he is better at what he does right now than Bronny is what he does. How's that? Okay. I'll say that with all sorts of confidence.
Okay.
I just think, to me, it was. You don't think that was a little artificial?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, the whole
you agree?
draft was artificial.
Okay, so you agree with me?
Yeah. But I still think it was pretty cool that they were able to pull this off.
So you heard what Chris had to say. You know what's interesting? I don't think that ESPN anticipated Chris having these type of views. If you follow the vast majority of personalities on ESPN, they all seem to be in lockstep when it comes to issues related to LeBron James. It's like everybody must either say he's the second greatest player of all time and everything that he does is great. And the moment you have a person like Chris Russo come out there and say something differently, all of a sudden it's making headlines. He also revealed something interesting as well in that Dan Patrick sit-down where he said he's actually not an employee of ESPN, like a part-time employee. He said, I don't even have, an ID card to get in the building. He's like, no, I'm not even employed, which is pretty interesting because we know he's there once a week on Wednesdays when he's on the show. I think it's Wednesdays. Yes, he goes on the show once a week, and that's on every Wednesday. And he said it before that he goes there to pretty much assist Stephen A. Smith to take some of the load and the pressure off of him because the show was quite demanding. What are my thoughts on what he had to say? First of all, look, I appreciate his candor and his courage, and I think we need more of this in sports media. We need more of this. The only person I have heard in sports media that had the balls to come out there and say, I don't think Bronny's ready to play in the NBA right now, is Charles Barkley. He said it on NBA opening night. He's not ready for the NBA. He should be in the G League. Most people won't do that. Most people will play political football. They'll act like, oh, well, you need to give it some time, because a lot of them are afraid of LeBron and clutch sports for whatever reason. And that's the reason why we need voices like Charles Barkley in the business. In terms of Chris Mad Dog Russo, I think ESPN, if they want to make their shows more credible, you need people like this on your platform. Because what Chris did was create a counterbalance to some of the views. And it was evident based on Molly Karam's reaction. Because had he said, oh, it was a wonderful moment, I loved it, it was great for sports and all, she wouldn't have said anything. But given her reaction to his commentary, you knew that he was breaking away from the script. And I think that's a bad thing. Where everyone agrees in the network that we're all going to have pretty much the same views on these issues. So for me, I think he added some significant value to that show, or at the very least that segment. You need people with different opinions on these shows. You just can't have people up there have people coming up there twerking it up every single day, slapping each other with honey, acting a damn fool on TV, just because we all just got to go along to get along, to quote Kwame Brown, that's his quote, and act like as if we don't see what we're really seeing. And what makes it even more insulting is that they do this acting like as if sports fans are this is the part that kills me. It really, like, these networks think that all viewers of sports are stupid. You know that there are a lot of intelligent people that watch sports, right? Like, you do know that. So to act like as if the audience is dumb and tell them that, oh, what you're seeing is not really what you're seeing. Like, we didn't just witness the fact that apart from them sharing the court together, nothing occurred. They didn't score any buckets together, nothing. So to try to dress it up and make it seem like as if it was something bigger than it actually was is disingenuous. And when you have people like Chris Russo going out there and saying that, I think it makes the show more entertaining and more credible to watch. This is just my take on it. So the question to the audience is the following. What do you think about Chris Mad Dog Russo having the courage Not only to say that on ESPN, but also having the courage to double down on his comments. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show.
When I have to tell a patient something's wrong in her pregnancy, it's heartbreaking. Those decisions are between the patient, her physician, her family. Mike Rogers said he supports all restrictions on abortion. He backed 4 bills to ban abortion with no exceptions, even to save a woman's life. I don't need a politician to tell me when I can save a patient's life. We have to stop Mike Rogers.
The Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Niccas Show. Who covers sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment. We'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And for folks, we got one for you guys today before we get into it. Please make sure you like the video and sub. Y'all know that Bronny James is making all kind of headlines. As a matter of fact, just yesterday I tuned into a segment, on Bill's Arena. It seemed like they had some type of Halloween theme going on there, and they were talking about Bronny James. I think on the panel was Charles McMahon, Kenyon Martin, Gilbert Arenas, and Brandon Jennings, and they were talking about him, the attention around him, and all of that, and they were kind of making some points back and forth. But look, for any of you who've been following the Bronny story, you know that Bronny came into the NBA with a lot of hype, right? And the reason he came into the NBA with a lot of hype is because of his father. Given the fact he's LeBron's son, and also some of the things that LeBron has been saying. And because of that, you've been having various organizations publicizing LeBron over the internet. They did that all throughout summer league, and even in some of the preseason. I think the first preseason game, he had like a block, a chase down block, and it was flashed all over the internet. But then when you started to dig and look at the numbers, you realized that Bronny wasn't performing well. In the 3 preseason games, Bronny James, all the active players that played in the preseason that were able to log minutes, he has the worst plus minus of a minus 40. That's Bronny. He's averaging 0.7 points per game, I think 1 rebound, 1 assist or so, and 1.7 turnovers, while shooting 9.1% from it. It's been bad. It's been very bad. Just yesterday we produced a show. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen it, I urge you to go check it out. Of some comments that Charles Barkley made, where he was essentially saying that, look, he's not a finished product. They need to handle him with kid gloves, but clearly he needs to be a little more development. Who's another person that said another NBA Hall of Famer? Magic Johnson said something similar. But when he said that, some LeBron fans started talking about Magic Johnson, all this, his old head, started talking about his son, all kind of crazy stuff, right? And in the midst of all of this drama and conversation, the person a lot of us have been wondering what they think is LeBron James himself. Because LeBron is part of the committee that basically ensured that Bronny James made it to the NBA. Despite all of the ridiculous stories surrounding his path to the NBA, he was a part of it. Because in the article that ESPN published the other day, we're like, well, you know, Rich Paul, speaking of Bronny, Bronny, where do you want to go? He said it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is him. My name called away. Okay. So they were like, okay, is time to do some workouts. You're going to be working out with any teams? No. I'm only going to work out with 2 teams. But I thought it didn't matter. If you're the second round pick, wouldn't you want to ensure that you give yourself the best possibility to show your abilities to all the other teams so you can have a good stock going into the NBA? No. I'm only going to practice. I'm only going to work out for the Phoenix Suns and the Lakers. Like, but that doesn't make any sense when you just said it doesn't matter who calls your name. Then before draft night, you started hearing no team should pick Bronny. If you're thinking about picking him, he's going to go to another country. We're like, but I thought you said it doesn't matter where he gets. Obviously, this thing is orchestrated. You would have to be a bloody idiot to believe otherwise, right? But LeBron and his team have been a part of this. So what happened? A lot of us have been wondering, what does LeBron have to say about Bronny's performances throughout the preseason thus far? And it turns out we actually got an opportunity to hear from LeBron James. And trust me, folks, when he was talking about it, he was very, very uncomfortable when they began to ask him about Bronny James. But before we even get into what LeBron James had to say about his son, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks makes it easy to get real money action on sports and players you love. Pick more or less on 2 or more players in any sport to win up to 100 times your entry fee. For example, here's a possible winning player projection lineup. Tyreek Hill for more than 90 receiving yards, and Dak Prescott for more than 263 passing yards. Josh Allen for less than 240 passing yards, and CB Lamb for more than 96 receiving yards. And if you're like me and you want to play safe, you will love the new features Prize Picks invented. Flex Plays. Flex Pays are the safest way to play Prize Picks. You can still make a profit or win some money back, even if a couple of your picks don't hit. On top of this, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. So download the Prize Picks app today. $5. That's $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support the sponsor. So what we want to do now, we're going to play what LeBron had to say when reporters tried to ask him about Bronny James. I want you guys to take a listen to. We're going to actually put up LeBron's face so you can see how uncomfortable he was, and then we're going to come back and continue on.
Kamala Harris, committed to moving Black America forward. She took on big banks and won billions for homeowners, capped insulin prices, and protected healthcare. As president, she'll put affordable housing in reach and stop corporate price gouging.
Donald Trump, committed to vengeance into the pockets of the big corporations. Kamala Harris, for the people.
Trump for himself. Clear?
Real clear. Kamala Harris for president.
Black Pack is responsible for the content of this ad.
Take a listen to LeBron here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know who talking to this. We gotta ask him. As a grown man, ask him how he's handling it. You know, it's up from there. Grown man, professional, you handle all those questions yourself, but we know why, good or bad, why they're
So you heard what LeBron James said. LeBron wasn't comfortable with that question. As a matter of fact, he didn't want it. And I'm going to tell you why I know LeBron didn't want that question. You know why? For one, LeBron hasn't been talking about Bronny. LeBron has been talking about Bronny James for the past few years. As a matter of fact, the same LeBron that was reluctant to speak here was the same LeBron that was going out there putting out tweets on X or Twitter, basically saying, man, I'm watching League Pass right now, and Bronny's looking a lot better than these dudes I'm looking at right now. Or he went out there and said that, oh, Bronny could definitely play for the Lakers right now. So LeBron has been quite vocal about Bronny. As a matter of fact, the media day, I believe that was on September 30th, they were up there doing media together. He had a lot to say about Bronny. A lot to say about him. So LeBron has had a history of voicing his opinion about his son. But now when they ask him to talk about his performances thus far in the preseason, oh man, you better go over there too. He's like, what happened? I thought you had all of this stuff to say. What happened? And I think what is happening is the first thing I think LeBron is going through what any parent will go through, which is the kid is not doing good, you're not going to feel good. Right? You're not going to feel good and you're not going to be happy. So what LeBron is experiencing is something natural. Right? I think the thing that if you have a child that set out to do something and you see that they're having some challenges or they're having some setbacks, it's going to bother you. Right? It's going to bother you that they're not seeing success. So the first part of his initial reaction is, but here's the problem. Bronny James is the 55th pick. I think anyone evaluating Bronny dispassionately and removing their emotions out of the situation would have been able to tell you quite clearly that Bronny James was in a first-round pick. Everyone else is coming. People like NBA former legends like Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, and others, most people believe that Bronny either should have stayed one more year in college or should go straight to the G League to the of basketball. Most people, and given the fact that most people see that, I'm assuming LeBron must have seen that as well. Granted, his son, I still believe LeBron had the ability to evaluate talent. So given the fact that Bronny wasn't this first-round pick, you should have known better than to say what you said publicly. If LeBron feels that Bronny should be on the Lakers, he's good enough to be on the Lakers, you say that indoors. You don't go put that type of pressure on your son and say that to the world. You don't do that. And it's these things that have brought us to the point where we are now. It's these things. LeBron inadvertently contributed to the pressure that Bronny James is going through. That's the one part. The second part is this. LeBron has been vocal on a lot of things as it pertains to Bronny. Go all the way back to Media Day, which was just 2 weeks ago. Talking about his excitement, how it felt surreal. Even in the first game, it felt surreal, and this and this. The point is, LeBron has been vocal about Bronny. Bronny is right now going through a difficult period. Bronny's probably aware of what's being said, and he's also aware of his performances. At that point, I think LeBron could have. Bronny is a work in progress, and we're working to make sure that he gets where he wants to be. At that point in time, it's like you brought Bronny all the way out just to leave him alone, just to leave him by himself and say, okay, you figure it out. But that wasn't the approach you took all this time. All this time you were promoting him, but now he goes through a difficult period. All of a sudden, we'll talk to him here and he's an adult. All of a sudden now he's an adult. So what about all those other times? He wasn't an adult. Listen, this situation, as it's trending right now, will not have a positive outcome. And I think the person that's going to lose out the most in all of this is Bronny. Frankly, the night LeBron and his son get together, do you know who benefits from that? LeBron James and the Lakers. Bronny has zero benefits. Or if he does have any benefits, it's negligible. The person that benefits the most is LeBron and his legacy, and then the Lakers for having him in a Lakers jersey. And it's a damn shame that Bronny is being used as a prop or a sideshow just to make some head. Look, there are a lot of people talking about man the Bills, and I can understand to some extent it's pretty cool to see it. So you know what? What would be even better is if Bronny James went off to have a successful NBA career, and we removed our personal feelings of how good it feels to us. How about what matters to Bronny and what's good for Bronny? And less of, oh man, this is really going to elevate. I've seen LeBron creators already making content talking about, well, at least Bronny James made it to the NBA. What is Michael? This is all it is for these people. Another moment to prop up LeBron James, even if it's at the expense of his son. These people are crazy. Even if it's at the expense of his son. You have parents, some of them out here arguing for this, man. I'm gonna put my son in positions to see. I'm gonna put my son in positions to see. Well, is he succeeding? Is he succeeding? If you had a business, an empire that you build, you're gonna promote your son when you know they're not ready just because you want to have the feeling of what it will feel like to work with my son because you know you're about to retire from the business in 1 or 2 years and risk your son going in there and making all kind of mistakes? Or if you wanted your son to be damn good at his job, why didn't you retire sooner and start working with him the way Carmelo has? It doesn't work. Do you know why? Because you can't get to 40,000 points like that. You can't. You can't get to 40,000 points doing that. You can't stat pad all the way to the end. Look at what Carmelo's doing. If LeBron was serious about this, he would say, you know what? I'm done. Let me focus on making sure my kids are the best that they can be to get to the NBA. Here's a thought. What a novel idea. What an idea that has nothing to do with LeBron. I know LeBron fans can't fathom it. They can't fathom it. This whole thing is a mess. The whole thing is a mess. And I think it is unfair what is happening to Bronny. But Bronny must be discussed. The way we discuss everybody else, he must be discussed. And the reason we're going to keep talking about Bronny is this. The more they keep promoting him like an NBA All-Star and they keep plastering him all over the internet, the more we're going to talk about it. We'll stop when they stop. We will stop when they stop. I don't really care about their father and son. I don't care. I don't care. Because this should be about Bronny. It's unreal. Imagine you as a parent and you're making things about yourself versus your kids. Wow, that's deep. Think about how useless you gotta be. Usually when you're a parent, you take a step back and the focus becomes on your kids. No. The focus is on us, the two of us. Something weird about that.
Election alert. Election day is on November 5th. Who you vote for is private, but if you vote is public information. After this election, your voting record will be updated, and your friends and family will be able to look up how often you vote. So vote on or by Tuesday, November 5th.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sebastian. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. And we give you guys a fresh perspective on things that we see. And today we have a very, very serious show in store for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, LeBron has been losing his damn mind on Twitter over the past 24 to 48 hours. He's been hollering and screaming and basically responding to everybody, whether it's Brian Scalabrine, saying that he basically destroys the reputation of his teammate. He jumped on Twitter, responded to that. Then he jumped on Twitter to also respond to a report by Ramona Shelburne from ESPN, basically saying that LeBron also admired what the Lakers did with Kobe Bryant, and that's one of the reasons that he went there. And LeBron quickly took to Twitter where he basically shot down those claims. And in the midst of all of this, I've been hearing various creators and people send me messages on Instagram. I'm like, yo, LeBron got all of this energy. He can respond to Ramona Shelburne. He can respond to Brian Scalabrine. But why didn't he, or why hasn't he responded to Chael Sonnen yet? Now, for those of you who don't know, Chael Sonnen is a former, I believe, MMA fighter, and he also worked at ESPN. And he was one of the people that went out there and made a pretty damaging claim against LeBron James that basically LeBron is using PEDs, right? He said it. And Chael Sonnen has been saying this on multiple occasions. He said it on multiple shows. He even said it on the PBD podcast, doubling down on it, saying that he knows LeBron uses something and they share the same guy in terms of the person that he gets all of those PEDs. This is Chael Sonnen, right? So what we would like to do, for those of you who didn't hear him talking about this on multiple occasions and doubling down on multiple occasions, we want to play a quick compilation of Chael Sonnen making this damaging claim against LeBron James over the last few years. But before we get into what he had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. With only 4 months left until the end of the year, I look forward to creating special moments with family and friends by attending various theaters, shows, plays, and sporting events. And when it comes time for me to look for tickets, I absolutely love to use Game Time. Game Time is one of the most reliable marketplaces for last-minute tickets to the most popular events in sports, music, and theater in more than 60 cities across the United States and Canada. Game Time saves me money, time, and peace of mind, so I don't have to sort through thousands of tickets looking for the best prices or worry about whether or not if they're authentic or whether I'm going to receive them on time. Game Time Picks, one of my favorite Game Time tools, analyzes thousands of tickets for all of your favorite events near your location and finds you the best possible deal so you don't have to. For example, I'm looking forward to this upcoming concert at Madison Square Garden of one of my favorite composers, Hans Zimmer. Here I can select the all-in price to see the total ticket price up front, no hidden fees. And now I can sort through the best possible deals I can find. I can choose the cheapest deals, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. And if you're like me and always make plans at the last minute, you can grab tickets up to 90 minutes after the event has started. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Chael Sonnen had to say here, and then want to come back and continue on. Take a listen to him here.
Yeah, bigger, stronger, faster in that order. But they got some performance enhancers. Like, if the world understood what LeBron did, like other basketball players will hear what LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player and you're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's
there's
doing?
only one. We have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing. But there's only one golfer.
Please tell.
There's only one golfer. I'm not going to. But there's only one golfer that follows the big three. And the big three is EPO, growth hormone, testosterone. That's the Lance Armstrong diet. There's one golfer, but it's Tiger Woods. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time, it doesn't matter. John Daly won it. It's like, it matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. It matters. And if other basketballers understood what it did, EPO increases your red blood cells, which gives you endurance so you can play all game long. You can shoot in the fourth
More
quarter
red blood
just like
cells,
you
more
shot in the
oxygen
fourth
in your
minute.
red blood cells. Okay,
yes.
got you.
It's the king of performance enhancers.
When I was a sophomore in high school, and Suzanne Summers wrote a book that was separated by like 3 months, and they both told the truth. Sylvester Stallone said, hey, there's something out there called human growth hormone. In other countries, it sits on the shelves. I several times have driven across the border into Mexico. I just walked in the pharmacy and grab it. Here in America, you can't get it come hook or crook, and that will be different in 30 years when people finally realize, to what I've already realized, you will be able to get it. This was just a claim he made. I mean, I'm just going back all this time, and I remember him saying it. It was a very honorable thing that Stallone did, and he wants to go out and put out pictures and videos and show himself lifting weights. That's very honorable, because he's telling us what he's doing. And if that inspires you or something you'd like to do, you can now follow his recipe and have a reasonable expectation that you get somewhere to those same gains. I think there's an honor in it. And when I brought up to Andrew Schultz about the EPO and LeBron James, I just bring that to you. I'm not putting down LeBron. There's 10 guys that do it. Like, that has separated itself. I mean, I only know one golfer that's on the diet. I'm talking about the big three. I'm talking about boost your test, IGF-1, which means growth hormone, EPO. I only know one golfer. All of golf. I only know ever in the history of golf. All the way back to, remember the Lee Trevino, the great? I only know one golfer. They call him Tiger, because this stuff works. And it also is legal. The three that I just said are legal. It's the John Cena approach. Tell people I've never taken anything. Well, he says that because he never taken anything illegal. He just happens to know a secret that so many others don't, which is you can get prescribed these medications. And I was just speaking to the power of the medication. I'll leave you with one final thought.
And I've seen you on Jim Rome, and you're like, LeBron, he's a bitch.
Yes.
LeBron's a dork. You call okay?
Yes.
What's your beef with LeBron?
There was a guy that turned out to be a very nice guy, but he was like getting this credit for being a badass. Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
That's
Ray
who
Lewis.
it was.
Well, Ravens. He's a Hall of Fame linebacker.
Well, and then I ended up meeting him. He was a very nice guy.
Yeah.
But yes, at the time I was building some fight, and I called him.
Why did you call LeBron a dork, though?
Well, what did LeBron do? LeBron had done something to me. And he was coming to UFC fights and he wasn't doing autographs, and it was just one of these things that rubbed me the wrong way. And he and I have one thing in common. We use the same drug dealer to buy our EPO. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, there's performance enhancing drugs, and they'll come out and try to tell you performance and enhancing are good terms. You could and it was a big deal. It's like LeBron. To explain where you got to understand, I grew up through the Hulk Hogan era. Like, I mean, I'm taking my vitamins and I'm doing my push-ups every night, and I'm flexing in the mirror for 10 years, and I can't put on any muscle. Like, Hulk, why didn't you say you were taking anabolic steroids? Like, I did the prayers, I did the I would have done the steroids.
Yeah.
Why didn't you include that?
Well, because he would give speeches like, you guys need to take your vitamins, kids. Yeah. So, is there validity to your story with the same drug dealer? Is that actually accurate? Straight up.
Specific, yeah. But it's a wonderful drug. See, this is but
guys, it's good.
It's a legal medicine.
There's a boy.
That's one of the things. It's a legal Now, you can ban it in sports, and there's different rules. But I'm sharing it. Like, this is what Lance Armstrong.
So you heard what Chael Sonnen had to say. Do you know, as of recent, NBA Top 75 legend came out and said, while speaking of Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett said, LeBron James on that new bout. That's what KG said. He on that new bout juice. And we did a story about that. I heard nothing about from LeBron on Twitter from that. So, you have Chael Sonnen making all these allegations. You don't say anything to Chael Sonnen. But nevertheless, respond to Brian Scalabrine and respond to Ramona Shelburne. But when it comes time to responding to something as serious and as damaging as that, we can't find you. Where are all the tweets? Where are all the tweets? We cannot find you. And as I mentioned earlier, Chael Sonnen was Chael Sonnen. Let me see, ESPN. I know he works at ESPN. I wonder if he still works at ESPN. Based on my knowledge, he still works at ESPN. I've not heard him, ESPN fired. I don't believe he's been fired. Chael Sonnen has not been fired by ESPN. I believe he still works with ESPN, which is the LeBron James network, which then makes one begin to ponder the following question. Given the fact that ESPN is the LeBron James network, and Chael Sonnen said this, why hasn't ESPN let go of Chael Sonnen? Do you think that if they let go of him, that there's a risk that Chael Sonnen could sue ESPN and then actually reveal who this person is? Because if he's levying such a damaging claim against LeBron James, one would think that they were parted ways with him a long time ago, but he still works there, to the best of my knowledge. So how is he still able to work there and then make those claims about LeBron James? How is that possible? And more importantly, if you are LeBron James and you have somebody making such a egregious claim against you on multiple occasions, you don't respond to him, but nevertheless you find the energy to respond to Ramona Shelburne. Now some people will say, well, the reason he's not responding to Chael Sonnen is because, well, it's not true. And why would you bother responding to something that's not true? Well, then basically by your own admission, you're basically saying that, so LeBron responding to Ramona Shelburne's report and responding to Brian Scalabrine saying that he destroys his teammates' legacies and Russell Westbrook, you're saying that is true. That's why he decided to respond to it. There is no answer to it. When you approach this situation with logic, you guys cannot run away from the truth, from logic. It's going to betray you. If you approach this situation with logic and critical thinking, you will know that there's a reason LeBron is not responding to it. And I think the reason has nothing to do with whether or not it's true. I don't think LeBron is not responding to Chael Sonnen because it's not true. I think LeBron is choosing to not respond to him because he doesn't want to draw attention to himself. Because if he draws attention to himself, people may start doing some digging and say, what's going on here? And if people start doing some digging, they may find something. So what he does is he acts like as if he doesn't even know what's going on. He doesn't even understand what's going on. A lot of people have been talking about when LeBron and P. Diddy. Oh, but why didn't LeBron say nothing? Why would he? Why isn't any other celebrity? Because they don't want people to draw attention to them. So I personally believe that the reason he is choosing not to respond to Chael Sonnen is because that he knows if he does that, it will really bring a microphone into that situation. And people was also saying, whoa, you hear what LeBron is saying? And then some people say, what's going on here? Let me Google this quickly and figure it out. And then you start hearing, and then people say, wait, is LeBron on something? And LeBron knows this. You think his PR team and all these guys don't? Of course they know this. So this is when we're going to act like we didn't even hear it. We're going to act like we didn't even hear it. But we're going to respond to Ramona Shelburne and all of these other frivolous claims. And LeBron fans, there's no way for you guys to run away from this because, again, logic betrays you. Logic betrays you. A LeBron fan will say the reason LeBron is not responding to it is because it's not true. And then a person that can process issues properly would then respond and say, okay, so if it's not true, that means that when he does respond to these other things, that means that's true. And then you run out of honey. And it's over. So I find it to be quite peculiar that LeBron has found the energy and the wherewithal to respond to all of these other claims, but Chael Sonnen, it looks like he's running and hiding from him. And Chael Sonnen not only says he knows what LeBron is doing, he said they got the same guy. So what I personally believe is LeBron will never respond to him, because if he does, Chael Sonnen has it out for LeBron. I think it's something he disrespected his wife or something like that. And if you disrespect a man's wife, good luck. Good luck trying to get forgiveness from that guy. That's one of the lines you don't cross. You never disrespect a man's wife and think you're going to walk away scot-free. Oh, it ain't going to happen. And if he has that type of vendetta against LeBron James, this means that Chael Sonnen can basically talk about LeBron when it comes to these allegations with basically nothing to worry about, because he knows LeBron will never say something. But I do find it interesting that LeBron is running and hiding from Chael Sonnen and running and hiding from those allegations. You had some people that came out there and then tried to deploy various distraction tactics by basically saying, because what they tried to do was the following. They said, okay, there are these rumors surrounding LeBron James. So what did the Gilbert Arenases and all of these guys try to do? They did what normal LeBron fans do. They deflect. They changed the question. They start saying, instead of addressing that, they'll say, well, Michael Jordan, he was bald, so he must have been on something. That's what they do. That's what they do. Even though you can see a clear decline in Michael Jordan's game as he got older, especially his athleticism. That's what they did. The other day we put up a poll just to show you how LeBron fans deflect. The question was, should Laker fans and the media scrutinize JJ Redick as much as they did Darvin Ham? I want to read you some quick responses of what some LeBron fans said. Hear this one. Are the Lakers the only team you cover? That's a LeBron fan. Another one, I can't even find that comment. They got drowned out. They probably two-pieced them in the comment section. Oh, what do you mean should they? Now all of a sudden they can't read proper English. They don't understand what English means. You and everyone else will, regardless, because they're the Lakers, you beef with LeBron and you feel the need for a GOAT debate 52 weeks out of the year. Like I said the other weeks. Don't try to pimp me. This is a LeBron fan. I know the game. Roll the next hater videos as per usual. So basically they didn't answer the question. They'll just deflect. They'll start talking about the price of tea in China. They start talking about what they saw on Netflix last night. That's what they do. They'll just deflect. And I'm sure people, when they start seeing this video, you're going to get a few comments. Oh, another LeBron hate video. Oh, no support for a black man. Blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of deflection. But the question, LeBron fans, you need to ask yourself is, for as active as LeBron is on Twitter with his Twitter fingers, why hasn't he addressed Chael Sonnen? Why hasn't he even sued him for defamation? If somebody's saying something as egregious as that, like that, you could get sued for that. Why have we never heard that? LeBron fans, I know what you guys think. Deep, deep, deep in your hearts that you're afraid of. We all know. I suggest you guys keep quiet when it comes to this GOAT debate. because y'all got something to be worried about. Catch you on the next show.
Every American deserves the right to fair housing, and Kamala Harris is working to make that right realized by us all. She learned firsthand how hard it is to work toward the dream of having a home. As California's Attorney General, Kamala Harris took on the big banks and Wall Street. And now, she's going to give first-time home buyers $5,000 for a down payment. This November, vote for the leader who will fight to put the keys to your own home in your hands.
Much of a finisher. Trophy system active.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How is everybody doing? Ha! Lord have mercy. It looks like hell is officially closing over. But what we got going on for you guys right now, we're gonna have a story for y'all. Today, make sure y'all check in. Let's give it like another 2 minutes. Let's let everybody check in. Let me know where y'all are coming in from. We got Bombshell. We got, well. Shout out to Well. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Surah. You absolutely right, man. Y'all are not going to believe this, but ESPN finally grew a pair and decided to say what everybody else has been thinking. It is hilarious. It actually is hilarious. Let's give another 30 minutes, okay? So let me see this real quick. All right, let's give it 30 more seconds. Shout out to India.
What are the greatest
in the house.
in the world, Phil? In the world.
Okay, who wrote this? Baxter Holmes. He probably gonna get fired. This dude, ESPN probably gonna fire him. He a senior writer, but they probably gonna fire him. Maybe it was a mistake. They probably didn't mean to publish it. Shout out to Vegas. Shout out to Tony in Vegas. So Ill Bully. Shout out to you. Of course, shout out to my man Raw for TV. Let's give it 5 more seconds, and then we're gonna get into it. Okay, let's get into this live real quick. Y'all already know ESPN is a LeBron James network. All they do is have people on that network that sit up there every single day and twerk it up on TV, say all kind of crazy stuff just to promote LeBron James. I get LeBron is a great player. We all know this. We all get this. But the kind of twerking that we see on ESPN on a daily basis is a little bit too much. And a lot of us view ESPN, shout out to Seattle, view ESPN as a LeBron network. We think that all they do is sit up there and praise him. You can look on social media with ESPN, NBA on ESPN. This is all they do. So I want to first of all give credit to Ticket TV because he's the one that I saw when I logged back on my computer, and I saw had spoken about this. I think 2 hours ago. So I was like, ESPN. So I was getting ready to go to Google because I thought it was just going to be some article somewhere through another website that linked to like the 55th back page on ESPN. So something told me to go to ESPN on the homepage. I go to ESPN's homepage, the NBA section. Y'all can go there right now, but I'm going to show you the article. I'm going to read it for you guys. I'm going to pin it right here in the comment section right there. Let me see if I can pin it at the top for you guys to see it. Okay, I pinned the message right there. Okay, good. So it's there. And the article starts off with the headline. I want to read it for you guys, for the people that are here. It says, set up for failure. What lies ahead for Bronny James and Los Angeles Lakers? This is from ESPN at 12 p.m. today. It says, Rich Paul was sitting on a couch inside his spacious glass wall corner office in Beverly Hills. It was warm mid-September afternoon. He was surrounded by testaments of his success, framed magazine profiles, signed memorabilia, a white board with financial projections, a bar cart with top shelf tequila and champagne. He pointed to the wall. On the other side of it, Paul told ESPN, was the very spot just a few months ago him and Bronny James discussed the decision of whether to stay in college or declare for the NBA draft. Inside that office, Paul said, Bronny was signing basketball cards when they began outlining his options. Paul, the CEO of Clutch Sports Group, was blunt. He had canvassed executives from across the NBA and said he told Bronny he was not projected to be a first round pick in the draft. Okay, late in June, that he probably was going to be a second round pick, if that he could even go undrafted. Paul asked Bronny what he wanted to do. Okay, what he wanted to do. I just want to hear my name called. Bronny told him. Do you care where it's at? Paul asked. No, Bronny replied. There had been a long chatter about Bronny playing with his father, that LeBron had influenced the decision that ultimately saw the Los Angeles Lakers pick the younger James in the second round of the NBA draft in some way. Let's stop the article right there. Shout out to the people that's coming in, and I'm reading from an ESPN article that's pinned to the top. It's using, somebody said Africa, is using my IP, whatever it is. Let's stop it right there. I thought it was the same Clutch Sports and Rich Paul that said prior to draft night or draft week that if any team drafts Bronny James, listen to this, wasn't it the same Clutch Rich Paul that said if any team drafts Bronny, that Bronny's going to go to, I think, Australia or Serbia or whatever it is? Isn't that what they said? Or did I get that wrong? Wasn't that what Clutch Sports was saying? That if you try to draft Bronny, he's going to go to another country. That's what they said. But now the destination don't matter. The destination don't matter, yet Rich Paul was putting out statements that if any team drafts Bronny James, he will not show up. I remember that. I think we all remember that. Just wanted to point that out. Let me continue on with this article. It said, nobody pressured Bronny to go pro, Paul said. Bronny had a choice to stay at USC. He had a choice to transfer somewhere else, or he had a choice to go pro. That was Bronny's call, Paul said, and Bronny's alone. And one that publicly and privately drew immediate criticism. Listen to this. It says, since the end of Summer League in late July, during which Bronny averaged 7 points on 32% shooting, alongside 3.5 rebounds and 1.5 assists in 6 games, he has traveled to Paris to watch his father win his third Olympic gold medal for Team USA. He worked out with the Philadelphia 76ers guard Tyrese Maxey and Cleveland Cavaliers guard Darius Garland. Paul said Rob Pelinka, the Lakers vice president of basketball operations and general manager, has told him that Bronny has been a fixture at the team's practice facility in El Segundo, California. That Bronny is the first one in the gym to work with the team's player development. Now, I want to go a little bit further now when it gets to the critics. It says, listen to this. Sitting in the front rows of reporters, Bronny twice referenced the criticism about his decision to go pro. He said he wanted to tune out all of the noise and tune out all the people that don't think I should be here. And he wanted to turn all the criticism and backlash into fuel. During a 118-114 preseason loss Sunday night against the Phoenix Suns, Bronny and LeBron made history when they became the first father-son duo to share the court. And then they said Bronny only attempted 1 3-point shot. It said back in the office, Paul defended Bronny time and time again. Bronny is serious, Paul said. This isn't an effing game for him. He wants to play in the NBA, and he wants to play well within his role. Others around the NBA, even those who praise Bronny as a person and boast about the numerous intangibles he possesses that they would want in a player, remain skeptical. I quote, the expectations for Bronny by the fan base and by LeBron and Rich Paul are not commensurate with the reality of his game. One Eastern Conference executive said, if they had any real idea of how far away Bronny is, they would just not have done this. Paul is keenly aware of the narrative around Bronny and wants to shift it. but the narrative has only deepened. In interviews with nearly 24 front office executive coaches and scouts across the league, those who for years have tracked Bronny's journey to the NBA, a two-part consensus has emerged that Bronny James, the most famous second-round pick in league history, not only isn't ready for the NBA, but was also drafted by the one team that presents the most challenging dynamic for him to succeed. That is the daily noise surrounding him and the Lakers will be both deafening and defeating. And that the feel-good storyline of Bronny James playing alongside his father will soon give way to the reality that Bronny is not an NBA. Reality of Bronny James in the NBA. You're setting up for failure. One Eastern Conference scout said, who evaluated Bronny for years, said, it's like, what's the expectation here? And then the article goes on of other people saying, it says, but more than that, he said, Bronny is LeBron's son, and if anything remotely comes close to once-in-a-generation playing with his father, then Bronny, at the very least, wanted a look. I wouldn't be doing my job as an evaluator if I didn't write a report. And this article basically goes on to say why ESPN, according to other sources, is basically saying that Bronny isn't ready for the NBA. And they're saying that it's going to be a failure and he's set up to fail. Most of the NBA executives believe that he's not an NBA player. But you don't need to be an NBA executive to believe that. You can watch the footage. Now, why do we say breaking news, ESPN turns on LeBron James? Why do we say that? The reason we said that is no television personality would dare, with the exception of Chris Mad Dog Russo, would dare say that Bronny's not ready for the NBA. Nobody. Not Kendrick Perkins, not Stephen A. Smith, not Shannon Sharp, not Molly Karam, not Malika Andrews, not none of them. And whenever you have any hint of criticism, just yesterday I was watching a segment, and they were talking about Bronny's game. They were like, Bronny didn't really play that well. And they said, no, we're not talking about his numbers. We're talking about the moment and what it felt like with him and LeBron. Is this basketball analysis? They don't want to talk about the numbers. And then Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp sit up there on TV yesterday and scold people who are critical or skeptic of this Bronny James experiment. And he said he doesn't like the fact that people are wishing for Bronny to fail and this and this and this. I'm like, who's wishing for Bronny to fail? Bronny genuinely seems like a really, really cool dude. I think most people watching this live would agree that Bronny is a lot more likable than his dad. A lot more likable. He seems like a really, really cool dude. I think he comes across way more likable and relatable than his dad. I think he's more eloquent than his dad. I think he's more charismatic than his father. And he seems to have a little bit more self-awareness. LeBron at Bronny's age had zero self-awareness. He would do things that were cringe. Bronny is not like that at all. So I don't think anybody's rooting against Bronny as a person the way some people may root against LeBron because LeBron James irritates them. Hey guys, let's try to get these likes up to 200 likes. I don't think...
I'm Matt, and I'm a former Trump voter. One of my biggest beefs with Donald Trump is that with him, anybody who doesn't agree with him is a radical, is a lunatic, is a leftist, a Marxist, a communist, somebody out to destroy America. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because I don't want to live in a world that's all about hatred and rhetoric and getting even with your neighbors and getting rid of people who are different from them.
I think it has anything to do with it. LeBron generally irritates a lot of people. I don't see anybody's criticism of Bronny related to his personality or the things that he said. The issue that people have is that Bronny doesn't seem to be a good basketball player. So people are like, well, if he's not any good, why can't we say it? And why do we have to be labeled as haters, or you don't support black men, or you don't like your father? If you call out the fact that Bronny isn't any good, at least right now, why does that make you a hater? Why can't we say it? We can say it about all the other 449 NBA players, but we can't say it for Bronny James. Why? Why?
What?
And to have ESPN, the ESPN network, who constantly protect and promote LeBron, for them to come out here and say that
I like cars, and I like looking.
on their homepage on the NBA section that Bronny isn't ready, that's them. Because if you listen to any of the personalities, they never say anything. For the new people coming in, I want to read the part from this article that I have pinned to the top. And it says, and this is from this article here. It says, Bronny is serious, Paul said. This isn't an effing game for him. He wants to play in the NBA, and he wants to play well within his role. Others around the NBA, even those who praise Bronny as a person, as we all just said, as a person, and boast about the numerous intangibles he possesses that they want in a player, remain skeptical. The expectations for Bronny by his fan base and by LeBron and Rich Paul are not commensurate with the reality of his game. One Eastern Conference executive said, if they had any real idea of how far away Bronny is, they would not have done this. Let's go back. Let's go back to the part where they say they would not have done this. Hey guys, let's try to get these likes to 200 likes, guys. For the Eastern Conference executive to say for they have not, for them have not to do this, it points to a narrative that a lot of people have been talking about. There's some people that actually want to have a straight face, like JJ Redick, who say, oh, no. Bronny absolutely earned his spot on the Lakers roster. Really, did he? Really? Based on what? Based on what did Bronny earn his spot on the roster? Why was Rich Paul going around telling teams if you draft Bronny James, he's going to go to another country? Why? Everyone knows that the play was the Lakers were going to bring Bronny James to LA for a few reasons. Number one, to play with LeBron James and make their star player happy. That's number one. Number two, for the spectacle and the hoopla and the media attention that they're getting right now. Number three, the general manager, Rob Pelinka, said, if you're going to make history with the father and son duo, what better jersey to do it in the Los Angeles Lakers jersey? They're doing this because they know it's going to make money. This isn't about whether or not Bronny James is a good basketball player. This is about money and also appeasing LeBron James. The issue then becomes when people like us and others and Cameron and others, we got a show coming out later today about what Cameron said. If we point it out, then we're hating. It's almost like just shut up, don't say nothing. Amid Belfort said, appreciate the super chat. He said, Bronny trash, let's just keep it 100. We calling his game, not his character. So LeBron and the honey lovers, chill out. Chuck, salute, great content. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate your comment, man. Appreciate the super chat. He's 100% right. No one is criticizing Bronny's character. Let's continue on with the article. It then says, Paul is keenly aware of the narrative around Bronny and wants to shift it. But the narrative has only deepened. In interviews with nearly 24 front office executives, coaches, and scouts across the league who for years have tracked Bronny's journey to the NBA, a two-part consensus has emerged that Bronny James, the most famous second-round pick in league history, not only isn't ready for the NBA, but was also drafted by one team that presents the most challenging dynamic for him to succeed. That is the daily cacophony of noise surrounding him on the Lakers will be both deafening and defeating, and the feel-good storyline of Bronny James playing alongside his father will soon give way to the reality of Bronny James the NBA player. You're setting up for failure. One Eastern Conference executive scout who has evaluated Bronny for years said, it's like, what's the expectation here? What's the expectation here? What's the expectation here? I also want to say this. Let's talk, and this is a very, very, very long article. You guys should go read it. I pinned it to the top there. Let's address the fact of whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? Whose fault is this? Who are we going to blame for this? I was listening to a segment from Too Raw for TV. Oh, God, was it yesterday? Shout out to Too Raw. I think he's in here. Make sure y'all check out his channel. He said that he has nothing against nepotism. That's what Too Raw said. He said, I have nothing against nepotism. He said, but if you're going to get a position through nepotism, you better be qualified. He said he has no issue with nepotism. But if you're going to get a position through nepotism, you better be qualified. Who here believes Bronny is qualified to be in the NBA? Who believes that? Let me read this. Breaking news. Top 2 reporters reports baby oil stock back. Oh my God, back to normal. Money, on the other hand, has been a bestseller since 18 minutes. Yo, appreciate the super chat, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Who do we blame? I think if we're being honest, we gotta say we gotta blame number one LeBron. That is the first thing. And by the way, I've had this conversation with other parents. I've had it with my parents. I've had it with other people that have kids. I've had this conversation with them to understand of whether or not I'm hating on LeBron. And the consensus that all of them said, because I told them everything that's happened, all LeBron has said, they said that if their kids want to, I don't know, take after them or whatever it is, they will do whatever it takes to help them. But they said, but by LeBron going out there and saying things like, I'm watching the League Pass right now, and Bronny is way better than some of these dudes that I'm watching. Or Bronny can definitely play on the Lakers right now. They said that those comments put a lot of pressure on Bronny. That's number 2. If you have LeBron James, who some consider to be the GOAT or the greatest player ever, certainly the face of the NBA. If you are LeBron James, who the National Media loves, and you're saying that my son is great and he could be in the NBA right now and all of that, well, they're going to be like, well, if LeBron says he's great, he must be great. So then what happens? They start posting him all over the internet. They start promoting him. In this article, they said at one point, let me see if I can go back to that part. It said, let me see if I can go back to that part here. It said, from the sideline, a veteran NBA scout Bronny's move across Wintrust Arena in Chicago. It was May 14th, the start of the NBA Combine, and 6 television cameras trailed every move. I was absolutely shocked, the scout said. The scout knew that the then 19-year-old's lineage commanded global attention and intense interest. The question is, why are there all of these expectations? And I think the answer is due because of LeBron James. That's number 1. Number 2, I blame the media. I blame the media for constantly putting out these ridiculous posts. Bronny has a takedown block. Really? Bronny, I think, had 1 or 2 blocks in it. They're going to have the nerve to put up a picture of Bronny James and Dwayne Wade talking about the only guard to, what I think, the only guard to get more than 2 blocks in the first game. Some of y'all who follow us on Instagram, y'all saw what I put up there. I was like, whoever put this up is clown. They put up a picture of Dwayne Wade and Bronny James. Dwayne Wade and Bronny James. Nick Wright versus Shannon Sharp in a money slapping contest. Who you got? Oh, that's Shannon Sharp. I think Nick Wright will probably start fighting Shannon Sharp. So I might give it to Nick Wright. If Shannon gets off that first slap, Shannon will win. But if he misses, if he doesn't get Nick will probably rip off his shirt and start slapping himself with honey. Matter of fact, we got a drum for some of you guys if you want one, and just basically lose his damn mind. I got to give it to Nick Wright. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Those are the two people I blame. So what happens from here? I think this season we're going to find out who the true clowns are in sports media. I mean, we know who the clowns are in sports media, but we're really going to find out for real who the biggest clowns are in this business. All the people that talk basketball, that talk about analyzing, that will refuse to call Bronny out if he's playing like garbage, you will know that those people are clowns. ESPN yesterday went Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith. Shannon Sharp tried to take it to, oh, well, you know, it happens in college football, and it happens in this place, and it happens in that place. But the problem is Bronny is good, and they're still promoting it. So what are we supposed to do, not say nothing? Shout out to Zeno Omega. He's not supposed to say nothing? Like, this is what I'm trying to figure out. We not supposed to say nothing? And now you got an ESPN senior reporter coming out here and publishing this article on their homepage. All I'm waiting to see is if people on TV gonna keep it a buck. That's what I want to see. If people on TV gonna keep it a buck. As of now, Bronny's not looking like a he's not looking like a there's a guy that has a channel, the basketball channel is a white dude. And basically I think he analyzes post-game footage. And he did 2 Bronny videos, and I think one of his things is like he shouts throughout the video. He's like, oh my God, you went here. This is wrong. Oh my goodness. You don't back up. You're supposed to cut. Get off the ball. I don't know if you guys saw him. He had a pretty popular video yesterday. This dude has been roasting Bronny James. Awful coach. That dude. Awful. This dude. They put a battery in his back and said, coach. For real. They were just like, go. He was plain royal. It's one thing if you're watching a game live, so you're paying attention to different things. You don't really know what's going on. You're not really paying attention to one particular player and the errors. But when you watch that dude's videos, it makes it look like as if Bronny he don't even know what's going on. It makes it seem as if he doesn't know what's going on in a game. And if he can see it, what's the name of his channel? Awful Coach. If that dude can see it, you want to tell me JJ Redick and them dudes can see it? You want to tell me that? I think the Lakers, it's a damn shame, man. You know, I used to be a Lakers fan. And ever since Kobe Bryant retired, man, the Lakers have turned into one of the biggest clown shows that we got going in the NBA. Let's just keep it real. The Lakers are if Ben Simmons was a basketball team, it would be the Lakers. Let's put it that way. If Ben Simmons was a basketball team, the Lakers are like the embodiment of Ben Simmons. They are like the embodiment of Ben Simmons. They are like Ben Simmons in basketball format. Literally. That's the Lakers organization as a whole. The Lakers are Ben Simmons. It's unbelievable. It's one thing if the Lakers are like, okay, for example, people like to make fun of the Clippers. Oh, the Clippers have no history of winning. They have no pedigree. They have no roadmap to go back and look at it and say, hey, they have no blueprint. So if they've been bad for a long time, you can't really say much. They've been bad. But the Lakers, on the other hand, they actually have a pedigree of winning. These are angry at their product is being used for blazing the LeBum D-Riders, all things now. Shout out to Daniel Williams. The Lakers, ever since Kobe retired, have turned into the clown show of the NBA. People don't talk about it. Jeannie Buss. Jeannie Buss is not a great coach. She's not a great coach. It seems like her thing is like, it's like she took the interpretation of the Showtime Lakers and the fanfare and the flash and the flip. She took that and interpreted it as we're going to turn our product into the clown show of the NBA, and that would be like our calling card. Like when you had the Showtime Lakers. Now this is the clown show Lakers. It's all about drama and problems and dysfunction. How many people, even Nick Wright, who's a LeBron James supporter, he says that the Lakers have no leadership. None whatsoever. We've heard various NBA players ask the question, if Kobe was alive, if Kobe Bryant was alive, would he have drafted Bronny James or been cool with the Lakers? And I think the answer is a big fact. Do you know why? Because Kobe didn't believe in second place prizes and just, oh, let's just do it because I like you. Oh, just come on, go ahead, let's do it together. Kumbaya. Kobe would have been like, he's not good enough. And what gets me is that the Lakers seem to be able to have some sense when it comes to Shaquille O'Neal. They could have drafted Shaquille O'Neal's son. Shaquille O'Neal's son sent his son to, I think, to the G League or whatever. Was Scottie Pippen. He could have done something. He went to the G League. But you got LeBron James, who only brought one championship there. But you had LeBron James, who only brought one championship there. Hey guys, let's try to get these likes up to 300 likes. And all of a sudden, they now drafting Bronny. So to me, look, the Laker fans, real Laker fans, if you're expecting your organization to turn around, I think the only time Laker fans can expect their organization to turn around is when LeBron retires. For as long as LeBron James is there, just a second, let me put this dude in timeout. I don't know what's going on with some people out here. Yeah. For as long as LeBron James is here on the Lakers, that organization is going to be an S show. That's the reality. I told y'all, as somebody that's probably 15 years, I'm not going to even think of supporting the Lakers until LeBron retires. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can't do it. Let's get to JJ Redick since y'all in here. Let's get to JJ Redick. JJ Redick needs to be careful. JJ Redick needs to be careful. And I want to say this to y'all right now. Do not be surprised if in a year or two we are talking about the Lakers hiring a new head coach. JJ Redick does a lot of talking. He has a lot of stone-faced expressions. If he believes that that is going to help him win games by talking all of that big grammar that he likes to talk and not go out there and win games, you better believe that JJ Redick will become a scapegoat this season. You better believe that. I want y'all to put this in. Can y'all tell me who was Kobe's coach when he came to the Lakers first? I forgot that dude. The dude with the white hair and the glasses. What's that dude's name? When Kobe got drafted to the Lakers, who was his coach again? I forgot his name. Let me pull that up. Let me see. Let me know his name. Kobe Bryant. NBA draft. Pick. What pick was Kobe? Kobe was the 13th pick. Okay. Kobe was the 13th. What was the name of that coach? They'll have it. Del Harris, do y'all know that Kobe Bryant, we're talking about Kobe freaking Bryant, who some people thought was supposed to be the next era player of Michael Jordan. Do you know when Kobe Bryant came into the NBA, he couldn't even get any minutes? Y'all know that? Kobe Bryant could barely play basketball. The coach wouldn't allow it. He's like, you got to prove yourself. You got to prove yourself. That was a number 13 pick. But Bronny James, I want y'all to hear this very well. Bronny James is slated to play in the first game in the NBA season while putting up a double single. Shout out to Mitch if you're watching this. Not even a triple single, a double single. This dude consistently puts up double singles, but nevertheless, he's going to be playing in the first game of the NBA season opener for the Lakers. If that don't tell you everything you need to know about J.J. Redick and the current Los Angeles Lakers team, then I don't know what to tell you.
Trophy system active.
Yup, he was playing behind Eddie Jones and Nick Van. Exactly. And that's Kobe as a 13th pick. Kobe. But Bronny James, since he's LeBron's son, he get to play. I want to get to one last part. They talk about nepotism. Nepotism is good. Nepotism is good. Yeah, nepotism will be good, but the only problem is LeBron don't own the Lakers. LeBron don't own the Lakers, so how's it nepotism? This ain't nepotism. This is LeBron James flexing his power. And what I am understanding is that LeBron James and Clutch Sports are very, very powerful. They are very, very powerful in the NBA. The only team that stood up to Clutch Sports was the Miami Heat, Pat Riley. That was the only team. The Cavs couldn't do it. The Lakers couldn't do it. Clutch Sports is super powerful. They control a lot. They have a lot of NBA players. So if you don't play nice with them, they will send free agents to your team, and you pretty much got to do what they want. And if you don't, you're going to see LeBron James hanging towels around his neck, talking about the New York Knicks, and scripted posts on Instagram, on Twitter, talking about, man, I love New York, playing in New York. That's what happens when you don't play along with Clutch Sports. So you better believe that this had nothing to do with nepotism. This had everything to do with power. And LeBron James has power in the NBA. Not just in the NBA, he also has power in the media. A lot of power. There are a lot of people that are explicitly connected to him and secretly connected to him. A lot of people. I can go through a list of names that I think are connected to LeBron, whether clearly or not. A list of them. A list of them. Literally. Big names. Big names that you wouldn't even think of. They are connected to LeBron. And that's how they control narrative. When you have everybody in your pocket, you can control the narrative. That's how it works. So to have an ESPN writer publish this article, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Who was the person that apparently got fired? He got fired from ESPN. Wasn't it Michelle Beadle? Wasn't it the reason Michelle Beadle had that beef with LeBron? Wasn't it because of that? Wasn't it Michelle Beadle? It was Michelle Beadle. Because she was too critical of him, I think, in his Miami days. So they're powerful. So for ESPN to say this is going to be a big deal. But if the big people on TV don't keep it real when it comes to LeBron James this season, I guess we're going to leave it to the independent creators. You know, the people that Stephen A. Smith and these guys say they don't deserve to have a voice because we didn't go to journalism school, or we're not on TV, or we're not on athletes, no one should take us. You know, those people. it looks like it's left to independent media creators to tell the truth. How ironic is that? That the independent creators are the ones that actually tell the most truth. Think about that for a second. It's not the former athletes, and it's not the people on TV. It's the independent guys. That should speak volumes about the space. It's not like that in politics. In politics, most of those guys are independent, and they're gonna tell you, I think this guy's crap, I think Kamala's crap, I think Trump is crap. These are independent guys. It's the politicians that defend their respective candidates and their respective parties. But in sports media, oh man, it's deep. It's really deep. It's really deep.
This is an expose on the overlap that the Bored Ape Yacht Club has had with different types of white supremacy and other types of racist stuff. You guys will see what happens. Here we go.
Unethical, the practice of having inside jokes that are so fucked up to people who don't even understand them, and basically making fun of people to their face, right?
Yeah.
To me, that's really what's fucked up, and it's more fun. It's actually more. To me, that's the crime here. The crime isn't that they're Nazis and they're racist, which they might be, and I'm sure they are accelerationists who are people who are just basically nihilists who don't give a fuck and want to see the world burn. And to me, that's probably a worse thing than being anything, because you really are anti-human and you're selfish.
What if I told you that one of the most successful NFT collections in the world was pulling off the biggest troll in internet history? No, not convincing people that this ugly shit is art.
Did this happen? Bro, did this shit really happen? Oh my god.
Or that it has any value. What if I told you that hidden within Bored Ape Yacht Club was a series of 4chan trolling, racist imagery, and white supremacy dog whistles? And with a deep understanding of cipher and cryptography, the founders of Bored Ape Yacht Club are making a mockery of the entire world, pulling the strings of the global elite, including celebrities, athletes, actors, and influencers. This story is extremely complicated for many reasons. The problem with accepting the truth I'm about to tell you is that you have to have extensive knowledge of 4chan, internet culture, and symbolism to even wrap your head around this and
Luckily, you also have me as a guide, and I will help you. I can guarantee you that there will probably not be a single racist reference that I will not immediately see. I've been on the internet for 20 years. I've seen them all. Are you ready? Here we go.
Understand the motive. The most important fact I'm about to tell you that you must remind yourself as we go along is that the entirety of Bored Ape Yacht Club is esoteric. By design, it is only meant to be understood by a select number of people with specialized knowledge. And
that's
as
right.
you can
It's like the another example of this is the Freemasons and also the Luciferianism. This is only the new generation of it.
see here, it is considered based when others with that knowledge connect the dots. Almost all of the absurdist references present in Bored Ape Yacht Club are glaringly obvious to the in-crowd and are invisible to anyone who isn't terminally online. I might as well be speaking a different language if I don't prime you on every aspect of this elaborate cipher. Combine this with Bored Ape Yacht Club being valued at over $1 billion, and you have yourself the gold medalists of the Troll Olympics. I had my doubts about all of this. That was until I spoke with one of the top creative directors and internet artists in the world. And trolling. An artist who has worked with Kanye West, Grimes, and Tame Impala, among other creative projects that you've definitely seen.
Oh
January
my God.
2022. A website goes live called GordonGonner.com.
Okay.
Signed at the very bottom was the signature of Ryder Rips. Ryder Rips is eccentric and is a trendsetter in every regard.
Okay.
He created the Deal With It meme, Dump FM, Internet Archaeology, and V-Files. When it comes to the internet, Ryder Rips is one of the most innovative artists of our generation. It's no secret that he uses internet culture and the nature of trolling to amplify his artistic messages. If there's anyone to educate
Makes
others
sense.
on iconography and the meaning behind art, it's Ryder Rips. And if I happen to be the founders of an NFT project manipulating the masses into asserting value on racist imagery, I would not fuck with him. For the past 6 months, Ryder Rips and other researchers have collected all of the data and sources that highlight Bored Ape Yacht Club's successful but depraved continued stunt. And I say continued because they still operate.
Congresswoman Slotkin sold us out. Washington politicians are cutting deals with China. Our jobs are disappearing. Now they want to ban gas cars, killing Michigan's car industry, sending more jobs to China.
I'm Mike Rogers. Slotkin's for EV mandates. I'm for Michigan. I worked in a car factory. These jobs are important to our families. That's why I stood up to China and my own party.
We need to change Washington to save our jobs.
I'm Mike Rogers, and I approve this message.
Join Mike's team. Give today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Advance. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. And we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And I always say, man, today we have a very serious show in store for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Let's get into this topic here. As y'all know, Chris Russo made a lot of headlines yesterday with some of his comments on ESPN First Take. Unfortunately, having an honest opinion now makes news in sports media, which goes to, that should tell you a lot about some of the views that you get on a daily basis, where one guy goes up there and says what he actually believes, and it generates headlines and contra, like, oh my God, can you believe that he said that? Did he really just say that? That's where we are in the game right now. He went out there, he made his comments, we reacted to it, we did a show. And we titled it with the following headline. We said, Chris Mad Dog Russo almost gets himself fired from ESPN for his brutal honesty on LeBron James and Bronny James, which I think pretty much that's the title, more or less. And some people are like, oh, you're over-embellishing. That may be clickbait. Is he really going to get fired? So let me tell you what happened. This morning, we were having our normal meeting, going over what happened yesterday, talking about the day and the week ahead, or the weekend, or whatever it is. As I'm talking to Marco, I'm also doing a little bit of research. And I'm combing through the internet, and I come across an article on, what's the website? On Awful Announcing. And I kid you not. In the middle of me talking to Marco, I immediately tell him, hold on a second, man. Let me just write down this title, because this is crazy, right? This is crazy, because it's validating some of my views, and I think the views of many. And I want to read the headline for you so you guys can see it. It says the following. Chris Russo offered to placate ESPN by shelving Bronny James' take. Stephen A. Smith said, let it rip. Now, what does that mean? What that title is saying is that Chris Russo was approached to basically dial it back on his honesty when it comes to his views on Bronny and LeBron's situation. But then Stephen A. Smith said, who I believe is the executive producer on the show, said no. Go out there and say what you really believe. Now, why is that news? The reason that is news is because we have been saying for the longest that ESPN is the LeBron James network. And every single day they send people out there to twerk it up all over the screen, knock over tables, slap each other with honey, run up and down the hallway hollering and screaming with jars of honey in their hand, trying to toss it at you. And with some of LeBron fans come, oh, you A, and I'm like, no. Some of the views that come on, ESPN is putting out views that to people that can be easily misled, and it's one of the reasons some of y'all actually feel like this GOAT debate is a real thing. That's the reason why. But I want to get into what Chris said. We got a lot. We want to read the article, but first, we want to play his actual comments because he made these comments on the Dan Patrick show. But before we even get into what Chris had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. With only 4 months left until the end of the year, I look forward to creating special moments with family and friends by attending various theaters, shows, plays, and sporting events. And when it comes time for me to look for tickets, I absolutely love to use Game Time. Game Time is one of the most reliable marketplaces for last-minute tickets to the most popular events in sports, music, and theater in more than 60 cities across the United States and Canada. Game Time saves me money, time, and peace of mind, so I don't have to sort through thousands of tickets looking for the best prices or worry about whether or not